Milan Obradovich, thanks for taking the time out to do this interview with us for the Oldsmobile Club of America. Now, how old were you when you built your first engine, and what make was it?
Actually, it was an Oldsmobile. I was about 23 years old.
What kind of old engine was it?
It was a G block.
A G block?
At Fillmore Engines in Maywood, and it was engine from my '69 442 4-speed that I owned new.
Cool. All right. Was there a certain person that inspired you in your youth that molded you into a car guy?
Actually, no. I think it just kind of like me. I just became one by myself, like cars.
Okay. What was your first car, and how old were you?
I had a '68 Volkswagen when I got back from Vietnam.
A '68 Volkswagen?
But previous to that, I worked at Oldsmobile as an apprentice mechanic in 1965. I got drafted and enlisted, then came back in 1969, traded my Volkswagen in, or bought the Volkswagen, and then traded in for a Compass 442.
All right. What year was that one?
1969.
Do you still own that car?
No, it's gone.
No?
Well, it's around somewhere.
Okay.
At a car show, but I haven't seen it yet. It's close.
Did you get into street racing or sanctioned drag racing when you were real young?
Street racing.
Street racing? Okay. And what was it that steered you towards Oldsmobile make?
Well, getting a job for Olds, and I like Olds. 442 was a new car. 442.
Yeah, can't do that. What is your all-time favorite Oldsmobile make? I mean, your model?
Actually, it'd be a '66 442, which I wanted to buy before I went to Vietnam. That didn't work out. So
okay.
'69 was real close, so I got one of those. And there was a person that actually bought the car, didn't want it, and I took his car, which is a strip. It was a basic 442, 4-speed, manual steering, manual brakes, radio delete car. And that's what I turned into, a race car.
Excellent. Did you ever take any formal classes, or is there any one individual that you can credit pertaining to your engine rebuilding skill set?
Originally, when I got hired by Oldsmobile's dealership, I went to General Motors Training Center for 2 months, strictly on Oldsmobiles. And then I worked there only probably about another year after I got out of the Army. And then I worked at a machine shop nearby to rebuild engines. I actually was an engine assembler then.
Wow, okay. How many Oldsmobiles have you owned in your life? Can you think back that far?
4.
4? That's
5.
it?
Right. That's
okay.
it.
Now, today we were just at Great Lakes Dragway, Union Grove, Wisconsin, doing some testing with your black '69 Beast, which may be one of the top 10 fastest door slammer, Olds-powered, naturally aspirated cars on the planet. How did it perform, and were you satisfied with the results?
Today was good. I knew the headwind would not be very good for us, but at the end, Don was able to get 937, 142 out of it, which is close enough as fast.
And with this combination, your best was a 935 so far, right?
And 935 too, and that's, I would consider that pretty much be max for a car.
Okay. Can you tell us some of the future plans that you might have for this car?
Right now, it'll be another engine coming. It'll be a DX block, 440, 4-inch stroker, with a set of CNC cylinder heads they had done, and a tunnel ramp, single quad tunnel ramp, and hopefully should do over 900.
Okay, well, I understand you've been working with John Marcella and John Stolpa to develop those all-out competition heads, and they were based on the Rocket Racing head. Can you tell us a little more about the process that it took and any of the hurdles that you might have had to overcome in doing that?
Mostly a lot of waiting time. John Marcella got the model done with the cylinder head quickly enough, and it was digitized, and then digitizing has to turn it into a, I forget what they call it. It has to be transferred into tool pathing for a CNC machine to know what to do, and all that took a long time. Plus extra welding on the heads because there were some places the CNC did not pick up originally. So it had to be re-CNC'd, and then just basically waiting for them to get down. The CNC machine went down, had a lot of waiting time, so it took me about a year and a half, almost 2 years to get before that stuff.
I know everybody's looking forward to seeing those results. And it's really cool that you've stepped up for the Olds community in that way to help propel everybody here. I know in the Olds community, you are revered as one of the no bullshit premier engine builders. Can you tell us a little about some of the mods or tricks that you do to make the horsepower that you do while keeping these engines alive?
First thing is always follow correct machine shop theory and not violate that too much.
And you don't think it's different for an Oldsmobile versus any other kind of
No,
engine?
not too much at all.
Okay.
And as far as bearing clearances to follow, I pretty much follow what Clevite says. And the only thing I do that's much different is oil modifications to create a stepped oiling system from the biggest to smallest tube down to the main bearings. And that's pretty much it, really.
Okay.
And find a machine shop that like to do that.
Well, I know from my own personal experience, you can tell the machine shop that you want such and such clearances, but as a builder, it's your responsibility to make sure they've done their job right.
I always double check all that stuff too, and the shop I deal with usually is within a 10 or 2,000ths of what I want.
Okay. Time for beer time. Cheers. Okay. I know you like to use, I think it's Larry Moe, his Pipe Max program to help you plan out your builds.
Mm-hmm.
Have you found it to be pretty accurate in estimating the potential outputs?
Yes, it does. It'll calculate a basic, as a result, it'll give you a CFM number. And if you already have that CFM number, it'll create also a dyno, a horsepower number for you. And I've engineered or forwards and backwards through Pipe Max, and usually it's like very close, within 10-15 horsepower.
Okay, I know you also blueprint and customize carburetors. A few of us have seen some huge gains in ET from your efforts. Can you give us some little tips to help others set up their carbs properly? I know there's nothing we can do in this short period of time, but...
Yeah. Well, do the basic things and make sure float levels even in bowls. Don't go, if you have to go over 1.5 turns or 2 turns in the idle mixture screws, carburetor is going to need to be changed. And unfortunately, most carburetors, the way they come these days, aren't spot on at all.
Okay, so there's some factory not so flat to spec.
Yeah, they just don't work right.
Now, from my own knowledge, I think right now you own 3 Oldsmobiles. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the other cars that you have besides the Black Beast? But what about the green car?
My green 69.
Do you have a nickname for it?
The green car.
The green car.
Yeah.
I love it.
Black car is actually Poopsie. My wife
Poopsie?
named that. So.
Okay. I wonder why.
I don't know. Should be not the money pit, but green car, I just kind of named it that.
Now, the green car's got Edelbrock heads that were they ported by Knowlton?
They're CNC'd by Knowlton.
Okay, and that thing did like 600 horsepower on the dyno, right?
Right, 600 on the head, pump gas with a dual plane, air gap, Edelbrock intake.
Okay.
And hydraulic roller cam.
What kind of compression in that one?
That one's 10.9 compression. So
Okay.
it's a little bit on the edge, but not too bad. Runs good on pump gas.
You got a pretty big cam? 0.6?
Cam is 249, 257 at 50. So it's a pretty big hydraulic roller.
Okay. And do you drive it on the street a lot, or?
All the time.
Yeah, that's great.
About 3,400 stall, 308 gear. It's a bomb on the highway.
Sounds like too much fun.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, what about your other Oldsmobile? I know you acquired one over the summer, and I've seen it go down the road. It's called the Banana Boat, right?
That's right, it's great.
Okay.
You'd have to talk to Lauren. She'll tell you all about it. She actually
It's
drives
a 75,
the car.
isn't it?
77.
Oh, 77?
First year the smaller size, downsize those full size.
What
77, 98 2-door.
But this is just an air-conditioned cream puff, right?
Cruiser. Very nice car.
And
Very nice car.
you told me before it doesn't accelerate, it gains speed?
That's right, just gather speed.
Okay.
Just goes
Slowly reel it in.
That's
huh?
right.
Okay. That's great. Let's see. A lot of the old racers have switched over to Chevy power plants, claiming there's more aftermarket availability, they're stronger, they're cheaper to build. Would you ever consider switching engine brand for your olds?
No, I would never do that. Never.
Care to elaborate?
Well, Chevys are more power. There is more parts, but they're not cheaper, in my opinion. especially in a Chevy nowadays. If you want to get a good Chevy, you have to buy an aftermarket block, and they're not really that cheap even on Chevy sales at all.
Well, I know that you are brand loyal to Oldsmobile. Is there anything that you can tell us that really attracted you to Oldsmobile, that made you the Olds man that you are?
I think probably the history of the car, because it was really good in NASCAR a lot, and drag racing, top wheel stuff in the 50s and 60s. So it was kind of a vintage, solid piece that everybody wanted at the time.
Okay. Now, I understand that you've enlisted Don DeBar, a seasoned drag racer, to pilot your black 69. Would you tell us why you're not driving the car?
Well, I actually like tuning the car, adjusting the car, making sure everything's correct on the car, not have to worry about driving and changing gears at the track, and doing the extra work it takes to actually drive the car. So I basically, like Don and I have talked, he does the inside, I do the outside, we don't interfere with each other.
But I know you're not afraid of it. So
no, I drove the car into the 950s pretty easily.
Yeah.
For a
Well,
while.
I think that you've got a great game plan going on right now with the car. I just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to do this interview with us, and you are truly one of the good Olds boys. So, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Dave.